You've been hitting the gym, eating your meals, staying consistent, and you're still buying that $60 tub of protein powder every single month. Here's the problem. Whole foods at your local grocery store are outperforming most supplements, gram for gram, dollar for dollar, and one of them costs less than $1. Stay with me. Before we get into the list, let's be clear about something. Protein powder isn't bad. It's not dangerous. It's not a scam in the traditional sense. But here's the reality. A typical whey protein powder gives you about 24 grams of protein per serving. And that serving costs you roughly $1.50 to $2.50, depending on the brand. That's not terrible. But when you compare it to whole foods, gram for gram, dollar for dollar, protein powder almost always loses. And there's something else it loses at: satiety. A 2015 study published in the American Journal of Clinical Nutrition found that whole food protein sources produce significantly stronger satiety responses than protein supplements. In other words, real food keeps you full longer. And when you're trying to build muscle, staying full and managing total calories matters as much as hitting your protein number. So the question isn't, should I use protein powder? The real question is, am I getting the most muscle-building value per dollar I spend on food? And for most people watching this right now, the answer is no. Food 1. Eggs. Eggs are possibly the most underrated muscle-building food in existence. At roughly $3.50 to $4.50 for a dozen at most US grocery stores, each egg delivers about 6 grams of protein, along with leucine, the specific amino acid that most directly triggers muscle protein synthesis. But here's what most people don't know about eggs. Researchers have used something called the Protein Digestibility Corrected Amino Acid Score, or PDCAAs, to measure protein quality. Whole eggs score nearly a perfect 1.0 on that scale. That puts them in the same tier as whey protein. A 2021 study published in the Journal of Strength and Conditioning Research found that participants who consumed whole eggs post-workout had a greater muscle protein synthesis response than those who consumed an equivalent amount of protein from egg whites alone. The yolk, which most people throw away, appears to contain compounds that enhance the anabolic signaling from the protein itself. So if you've been eating egg whites only, let's talk about that in the comments, because that debate is one of the most polarizing in fitness. Drop an EGG if you eat the whole egg, and a X if you've been throwing out the yolk. Cost per 20 g protein, approximately 55 cents, 75 cents, 6 grams. A perfect amino acid score. And most people use them as a side dish. Food 2. Canned tuna, salmon, and sardines. If there is a single category of food that bodybuilders on a budget have known about for decades, and the general public still sleeps on, it's canned fish. A can of tuna at Walmart or Kroger, $1 to $1.50. That gives you approximately 25 to 30 grams of complete protein. Let that sink in. 25 grams of protein for $1. Canned salmon steps it up further. It contains omega-3 fatty acids, specifically EPA and DHA, which have been shown in multiple peer-reviewed studies to support muscle protein synthesis and reduce exercise-induced muscle soreness. A 2020 meta-analysis in Frontiers in Nutrition found that omega-3 supplementation was associated with improvements in muscle strength and functional capacity, particularly when combined with resistance training. And sardines? Often the most overlooked, but they're loaded with protein, omega-3s, and calcium, since you typically eat the small bones. One can, about $1.25 and around 23 grams of protein. Cost per 20 g protein, approximately 60 cents, $1. We're only at food number 2, and we've already found options that beat most protein powders on price. But the next few on this list, this is where it gets interesting, because some of these go beyond just protein. They change how your body uses that protein. Keep watching. Food 3. Non-fat Greek yogurt and cottage cheese. Greek yogurt and cottage cheese have quietly become the darlings of the high-protein, budget-conscious fitness crowd, and for good reason. A 32 ounces container of non-fat Greek yogurt at most major US supermarkets runs around $5 to $6 and contains roughly 80 to 90 grams of protein in the whole container. Cottage cheese is even cheaper. A 24 ounces container can be found for $3 to $4, with approximately 60 to 70 grams of protein across the whole tub. Here's the science angle that makes cottage cheese especially interesting. Cottage cheese is high in casein protein, the slow-digesting protein that releases amino acids gradually over several hours. A study published in Medicine and Science in Sports and Exercise found that consuming casein protein before sleep was associated with increased overnight muscle protein synthesis. Not a magic bullet, but a meaningful edge when you're consistent about it. Greek yogurt, on the other hand, contains a mix of whey and casein, plus live cultures that have been associated with improved gut health, which in turn may improve nutrient absorption over time. Cost per 20 g protein, approximately 50 cents, 90 cents. Cottage cheese before bed. Sounds boring. The data says otherwise. Food 4. Chicken thighs. This one stops people in their tracks. Most fitness content will tell you to eat chicken breast. Lean, clean, boring chicken breast. And yes, chicken breast is great. But let me make a case for the thigh. Chicken thighs are almost always significantly cheaper per pound than chicken breasts, often running $1.49 to $2.49 per pound at major U.S. stores versus $3 to $4/lb for boneless, skinless breast. And here's what the data actually shows. While chicken thighs have slightly more fat, the caloric difference per serving is modest, roughly 50 to 70 extra calories from fat per 3.5 ounces serving. But they're also higher in zinc and iron, two minerals directly tied to testosterone production and red blood cell function, both of which matter for recovery and performance. A 2019 review in Nutrients highlighted that zinc deficiency is associated with reduced testosterone levels and impaired muscle recovery, and chicken thighs provide meaningfully more zinc per serving than chicken breasts. This is one of those places where the cleanest option isn't always the most complete option. Now here's a thought that's going to split the comments. Do you think the fitness industry over-promotes chicken breast because it's easier to market as lean? Drop your take below. I want to know what you actually think. Cost per 20 g protein, approximately 60 cents, $1 cheaper. More zinc, more iron. The thigh never got its moment, until now. Food 5. Ground turkey and lean ground beef, on sale. Ground turkey is one of the best budget meats available year-round. At roughly $3 to $4 per pound for 93% lean ground turkey, you're getting about 22 grams of protein per 3.5 ounces cooked serving with very manageable fat content. Ground beef, specifically 90/10 or 93/7, is worth grabbing when it goes on sale, which it consistently does at most major retailers. When you catch it at $3.99 per pound or below, the cost per gram of protein starts competing with anything in a tub. Lean red meat is also a meaningful source of creatine, the most research-backed performance supplement in existence, and you get it naturally from the food itself. A 2003 review in the Journal of the International Society of Sports Nutrition noted that dietary creatine from meat sources contributes to muscle phosphocreatine stores, supporting high-intensity output over time. Cost per 20 g protein, approximately 80 cents, $1.30 creatine in your ground beef. You've been paying for supplements you already eat. Food 6. Dry lentils and beans. Now here's the one that will genuinely surprise you. Dry lentils and beans are among the cheapest protein sources on Earth, and they're dramatically underused by people trying to build muscle. A 1-pound bag of dry lentils runs about $1.50 to $2 and yields roughly 90 grams of protein once cooked. A 1-pound bag of dry black beans? Similar story. Now, plant proteins generally have lower leucine content and lower digestibility compared to animal proteins. This is real. The science is clear on that. But here's what's also true. A 2021 paper in Sports Medicine confirmed that plant protein can support muscle hypertrophy comparably to animal protein when total daily protein intake is adequate and when paired with complementary sources throughout the day. Lentils also bring something most people forget about: fiber, iron, and slow-digesting carbs that keep you fueled for long training sessions without spiking and crashing your blood sugar. Pair them with rice, another incredibly cheap staple, and you have a complete amino acid profile for under 50 cents per serving. Cost per 20 g protein, approximately 20 cents, 50 cents, the cheapest on this list. 90 grams of protein, $1.50, and it fits in your pantry for months. Food 7. Tofu. Tofu might be the most underestimated protein source in the fitness world. A block of firm tofu at most U.S. grocery stores costs $2 to $3 and delivers approximately 35 to 40 grams of protein per block. Tofu is made from soybeans, and soy is one of the only plant proteins that contains all 9 essential amino acids, making it a complete protein source. A 2021 systematic review in Nutrients found that soy protein was comparable to whey protein in supporting muscle protein synthesis when consumed in similar amounts. The concern about soy and hormones, specifically estrogen, comes up constantly in fitness communities. But the current body of evidence does not support the idea that moderate soy consumption significantly affects testosterone levels in healthy men. The studies that suggested this issue largely used extraordinarily high amounts far beyond what anyone would eat normally. That said, this is a nuanced area, and if you have specific health concerns, talking to your doctor or registered dietitian is always the right call. We're sharing educational information here, not medical advice. Cost per 20 g protein, approximately 60 cents, $1. Complete amino acid profile, $2. And it's been dismissed for a decade. Food 8. Peanut butter. Peanut butter is not a high-protein food per se, but it earns its place on this list. A jar of natural peanut butter at Walmart runs about $3 to $4 and gives you roughly 7 to 8 grams of protein per 2 tablespoon serving, along with healthy monounsaturated fats and roughly 190 calories. In a muscle-building context, total caloric intake matters. If you're training hard and struggling to hit your calorie goals on a budget, peanut butter is one of the most calorie-dense, shelf-stable, convenient ways to get there without overspending. It's not going to replace your primary protein sources, but as a supporting player in your nutrition strategy, it's nearly unbeatable for cost and convenience. It's not your main protein, it's the one that fills the gaps. Food 9. Oats. Oats aren't a protein food in the traditional sense either, but here's why they matter enormously for muscle building. A 5-pound container of rolled oats at most stores costs around $5 to $7 and lasts weeks. Each serving provides around 5 grams of protein, and, more importantly, a steady source of complex carbohydrates that support your performance in the gym. Research consistently shows that carbohydrate availability before and after training directly affects performance output and recovery. A 2013 review in the Journal of the International Society of Sports Nutrition confirmed that total caloric intake, including carbohydrates, is one of the most important variables for muscle hypertrophy, not just protein alone. Oats also contain beta-glucan, a soluble fiber associated with improved gut health and consistent energy output. Cheap, filling, versatile, and genuinely functional. No carbs, no fuel, no training, no muscle. It's that simple. Food 10. Frozen vegetables and spinach. Frozen spinach and frozen mixed vegetables typically cost $1 to $2 per bag and deliver something that's easy to overlook when you're focused on protein numbers. Micronutrients that directly affect muscle function. Magnesium, found in spinach, plays a role in over 300 enzymatic reactions in the body, including those involved in protein synthesis and muscle contraction. A 2017 study in Nutrients found that magnesium status was positively associated with muscle performance in both older and younger populations. Iron from leafy greens supports oxygen transport during training. Vitamin C from mixed vegetables improves non-heme iron absorption. None of this is glamorous. None of this will go viral. But if your micronutrient intake is poor, your recovery will reflect it. And no amount of protein will fully compensate. You can't out-protein a micronutrient deficiency. Let's put this all together. Here's what a full day of eating on a tight budget could look like. Breakfast: 3 whole eggs scrambled plus 1 cup oats with milk. Approximately 40 g protein. Cost $1.20. Lunch: 1 can of tuna mixed with Greek yogurt plus rice plus frozen spinach. Approximately 50 g protein. Cost $2. Snack: cottage cheese plus peanut butter. Approximately 30 g protein vertical bar. Cost $0. 90 dinner. Chicken thighs plus lentils plus sweet potato. Approximately 55 g protein. Cost $2. 50 total. 175 g protein. Total food cost approximately $6.60. A single tub of premium protein powder, giving you the same daily protein from shakes alone, would cost you roughly $3 to $5 per day, and you'd still need to buy food on top of that. The math speaks for itself. And as always, if you're making significant changes to your diet, check in with a registered dietitian or your doctor. What works for one person may need adjustment for another. This is educational content, not a prescription. 175 grams of protein, $6.60. Think about that. And speaking of getting the most out of your nutrition, here's a question that naturally comes after everything we just covered. If I'm eating enough protein, do calories even matter, or is it the other way around? This is genuinely one of the most debated topics in evidence-based fitness right now, and the answer will probably surprise you. My next video covers exactly this: calories versus protein. What matters more for gains? I break down the research, the actual hierarchy of nutritional priorities for muscle building, and what you should focus on if you can only nail one thing at a time. It's linked right here. Don't skip it if you're serious about making progress without wasting time or money.